All right, so I went and signed up for Grok Bot yesterday, so I've been playing with it for barely one whole day. And I must say, it is really good. I've been loving it so far. And the way I frame it is, it's kind of like the Macintosh, the Apple Macintosh of agents. So if you remember back in the day, there was this whole Mac versus PC debate, and PCs were endlessly customizable. You could build your own PC, you could buy RAM and hard disks and CPUs and GPUs and motherboards, and you can put together your own PC out of all these parts. So you could customize it to your heart's content. On the other hand, Macs were like appliances. They were like toasters, right? They were fully integrated. You couldn't open them up. You couldn't upgrade any of the hardware in them. But they were super user friendly. They were the computers for non-techie everyday people. And of course, 30 years later, Macs are still going great. In fact, you could argue they've surpassed PCs maybe a while ago. And I think Grokbot is the Mac moment for AI agents because it's just so refreshing to not have a model picker, not have a reasoning effort picker, to just have it be in the cloud. And I know I've made videos in the past about how I really like my local agents, and Codex running locally on my MacBook is still kind of 80-90% my daily driver, but the whole Grokbot thing is really growing on me. And there have been so many products that have circled this form factor. Of course, there was OpenClaw with everything else that came after it. There have been all these cloud agents, but I don't think anyone has quite nailed the form factor the way Grokbot did. The fact that you have all these agents and they all share one computer. By the way, it's super fun to play with that computer. They give you a very easy way to just click into it and take control of the computer. And you see a full graphical remote desktop as just a Linux box. So you can open a shell, you can open Chrome, just like it's basically a VPS. And it's a pretty beefy computer. It's got 8 Intel Xeon CPUs, virtual CPUs. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. It's got, I forget if it's 128 or 256 gigs of hard disk space. So it's a fairly beefy VPS, and you can open a shell, you can look around the file system. All your memories get stored as text files, as markdown files in that file system, and all your agents can see it. And as for computer use, every agent that you start gets its own virtual desktop on this computer, which I thought was a cute idea. Anyway, so it's this kind of very vertically integrated, hermetically sealed agent, just like Macs are, right? Most people don't even care like what processor or how much RAM or how much disk a Mac has. I mean, a little bit, maybe the really high end users, but a lot of people will just buy, middle of the road Mac and be happy with it. So yeah, I never thought I'd say it because I consider myself a power user and I like to fiddle with all the knobs and dials. But I really like Grogbot. And maybe if there's some really heavy coding task, or if I want to solve an Erdős problem, I'll reach for one of the other more geeky frontier models with frontier harnesses. But for day to day work, when I want to find out what's on my calendar and which emails I really need to reply to, and doing research on the web and preparing news briefs and stuff like that, daily knowledge work, life admin work, professional admin work, Dropbot seems like a pretty good choice. Anyway, I'm only a day into it, so who knows? Maybe I'll find all kinds of rough edges as I use it more. But I thought this shift in philosophy, what I think of as the Mac versus PC philosophy, I thought that was really interesting. All right, thanks. Bye.